3 amps to run. 4 amps really with the efficiency ratio on this inverter. So we're gonna figure this inverter costs around, we'll say 90 watts, 70 to 90 watts. We'll say 100 watts for the sake of math to run this inverter, just to cut it on, right? That's the transaction fee to run energy from the battery into AC. So we don't want to have to do that unless we need it. Here's the thing, what needs that big a voltage? Okay, the only thing in here that runs off of 120 is going to be the combo washer dryer, the air conditioner, the water heater, and the cooking utensils. The lights, the vent fan, the fridge, the water pump, everything else runs off of DC. That's the stuff you need to run constantly. So what I have is this 48 to 12 Victron controller. What I do is come off of this right here with some wires. I'm gonna do this. I should just do it right now. I should show you. I'll tell you first. But I'm going to take this guy, okay, and the input on this is between 32 and 70 volts, okay? So it inputs 32 to 70 and steps it down to 10 to 15. It only generates 360 watts total, okay? To put this in perspective, that fridge right there pulls 70 watts. That is a 120 volt fridge. It's the only thing I could find that would fit 120. Hand me that, please. Hand me that one. Now, it runs off 120 volts. It only pulls 70 watts. It pulls more energy to turn this on to run that than it does to actually run that. And I know that. And I don't want this running all the time just to run a fridge. This pushes 240 volts. You're shooting a dove with a 12 gauge, Cletus. All right? So what do I get? Okay, this is a smaller money changer. This has an input of 12 volts DC, meaning I can take that 48 volt, step it down to this 12 volt. I'm going to put it in, where's the little panel? Where's the little panel? Oh, right there, Porter, send me that. So what I'm going to do is take this 48 volt inverter. What I'm going to do is take this 48 DC converter and have the 48 volt come into this, step it down into the 12 volt, and drop it into this, because everything functions off a 12 volt system in here. Off of that, I'm going to run a wire from this panel to this inverter, which takes 12 volt and steps it up to 110. That way I can run this little tiny thing to push that fridge without having to cut this one on.
Turn that on.
Now you see how energy is wasted so much in America. You know those new fans? How long does it take it to cut on? About a second and a half? You notice that with the remote? Do you know why? Do you know why it takes your computer a second to boot up? Because...
all the conversion?
Do you know why it takes a fan a second and a half to cut on, or your laptop a little while to charge up? Because right now, miles away at Plant Vogtle, they're doing nuclear fusion to create massive 240 volt electricity. Well, actually, way higher voltage. It steps it down to 240 for your house. And then it steps it down to 120 for the branch circuit to go to your bedroom. And then when you flip the light switch on, it steps the 120 volt down to like 3 to 9 volts. They're literally doing nuclear fusion to build energy that you don't need. You literally have technology in place to reduce the energy. They're just making you pay for it.
And telling you it's impossible because of all the stuff. Let's overcomplicate it and
you don't need this. And what I'm telling you is I can build a house cheaper, better, far more energy efficient that you can live in wherever the fuck you want, however the fuck you want, and you don't need the government. You don't need their grid. You don't need their water supply. You don't need shit from them. And it's cheaper, more efficient, Spartan, durable. But it's illegal according to building codes. Why? Because if you ever get one of these fellas' houses, you'll never buy any more of their fucking bullshit.
Because they can't make money off of you.
But I have read their rules and I understand them. And if I operate within your motherfucking rules,
then
right? There's no building code on a bus. As soon as they try to pass one, I'll be in fucking Congress. But what I'm saying is, don't regulate me. Let me live in my death trap as much as I want to.
What does it matter to you if I die in my death trap?
Hey, have you ever wondered, why is the American government so interested in keeping you alive? It is illegal to commit suicide. In fact, it is the only crime that is only punishable if attempted and failed. You can't take your own life. You can't, if you have a terminal illness, kill yourself. Even though it's your life. Why? Well, because you're a taxpayer, motherfucker. And you have to be here to work and pay your property tax, and your electric bill, and your water bill, your car insurance to keep the machine running. And I'm not in that shit anymore. I figured out how to put my house inside a van and drive to the woods and live off of solar panels and tell the government they ain't shove it up their goddamn regulated ass, motherfucker. And that's what I'm here to tell y'all. It's that easy. We did it today while drinking beers. Yeah, I have unplugged from their matrix. I'm going to show y'all how to.